You believe that logic is your superpower, the ultimate tool for navigating the complexities of life. But what if I told you that absolute rationality, without the balance of intuition or wisdom, can actually lead to intellectual paralysis? We are analyzing how pure rationality, detached from intuition or wisdom, can paradoxically lead to intellectual and personal stagnation. Let's explore the madness of reason, the exact point where a purely logical structure stops building and becomes an ornate, yet useless monument to a flawed certainty. Get ready to challenge everything you thought you knew about intelligence as we dive into the surprising ways logic can become a merely decorative dead end. The seductive allure of pure logic emerges as a promised solution for all ills, fueled by a data-obsessed technological landscape that ignores the pulse of the soul. This hyper-rationality offers initial comfort and apparent efficiency, but it hides a silent trap for your spiritual awakening. When we lock ourselves into only what is explainable, we turn our intelligence into an intellectual straitjacket, where the fear of ambiguity suffocates innovation and true presence. It's time to understand why being right can often destroy your peace, and how your spirituality requires the abandonment of rigid certainties so that life can flow again. This flow, however, is constantly interrupted by the siren song of our own minds, whispering that safety resides only in what is measurable. We have been conditioned to believe that pure logic is the ultimate solution to any and every problem, but this pursuit of absolute efficiency is exactly what distances us from the real experience of existence. There is a seductive allure to pure logic, as if it were the definitive solution to all human problems. We live in an era where the obsession with data and technological hyperrationality tries to convince us that everything can be measured, weighed, and controlled. Initially, relying solely on the logical mind brings us apparent comfort and a sense of efficiency. It is what Alan Watts would describe as the attempt to eat the menu instead of the food. We fall in love with the description of reality and forget to live it. In this search for security, personal development is often confused with the accumulation of methods, when in fact it should be a process of unlearning. Certainty is an illusion that calms the ego but paralyzes the soul. When we cling only to what is explainable, we close the windows to mystery. Remember, the vessel is only useful because it has empty space inside. If your mind is full of logical certainties, where can silent wisdom dwell? The risk of maintaining such an overfilled mind is that, over time, what began as a tool for personal growth ends up becoming an intellectual straitjacket. We stop using logic to explore the world and start using it only to defend the walls of a mental fortress we built ourselves. Over time, what was once a construction tool becomes a decorative ruin. We move from building with logic to defending a mental fortress. We see this in rigid structures and echo chambers, where the fear of ambiguity prevents innovation and, above all, empathy. As Jiddu Krishnamurti taught, the ability to observe without evaluating is the highest form of intelligence. Pure logic is always evaluating, labeling, and ultimately limiting our expansion. This intellectual rigidity acts as a straitjacket. The awakening of consciousness requires us to accept the discomfort of not knowing. When you refuse to accept what cannot be rationalized, you stop growing. Life is not a straight ladder. It is a river that teaches effortless fluidity. You are not broken because you don't have all the answers. You are in transition toward a deeper understanding that is born beyond words and concepts. But to reach this clarity, we need to illuminate the blind spots our rationality insists on hiding. We must admit that data and metrics, however precise, will never tell the full story of what it means to be human, for logic frequently ignores the invisible element that colors our reality: intuition. Pure reason frequently ignores that data doesn't tell the whole story. In complex human systems, quantifiable metrics fail to capture the depth of pain, love, and hope. This is where intuition emerges as a valuable, and often repressed, form of pattern recognition and ancestral wisdom. Carl Jung reminded us that the unconscious possesses a wisdom the conscious mind can barely grasp. The need for emotional intelligence and adaptability is vital in an unpredictable world. Logic can tell you the how, but only the soul knows the why. Listening to the soul is what allows us to feel the frequency of life. When we silence the noise of incessant analysis, we allow presence to manifest. The universe hears you when you learn to hear yourself, not with the judging mind, but with the feeling heart. And it is precisely when we try to apply this analytical coldness to the realm of emotions that we witness the ruin of our relationships. Over-reliance on reason suffocates genuine connection, turning the meeting of two souls into a frustrated attempt to solve logical problems when what the soul asks for is simply presence and acceptance. An over-reliance on logic suffocates genuine connection. Trying to solve a person or a feeling with rational arguments is like trying to catch the wind with a net. The personal cost of this hyper-rationalization is burnout, the famous analysis paralysis, where the pursuit of non-stop optimization steals the joy of the present moment. Real growth often requires stepping outside the perfectly logical box. Like a seed that needs the darkness of the earth to bloom, our evolution requires periods where logic doesn't make sense, but life does. All healing begins with the acceptance of what hurts, and pain is often illogical. If you seek inner transformation, you must allow love and intuition to guide your steps when the map of reason is blank. Accepting this void is not a sign of weakness, but the first step toward rebuilding our journey with true wisdom. It's about finding a balanced ground where intelligence is not discarded but integrated into the pulse of experience, finally allowing rational thought to learn to walk hand in hand with mystery. How, then, do we rebuild our lives with balance? The answer lies in integrating intuition and experience into rational thought. It's not about abandoning logic, but about turning it into the servant of wisdom, rather than its master. The power of diffuse thinking allows us to embrace uncertainty and find creative resolutions that linear logic could never reach. Taoism teaches us the way of flow, wu-wei, or non-forced action. Practicing contemplation and conscious silence are practical steps toward cultivating a holistic approach. Start observing your thoughts like clouds passing through the sky of consciousness. You are not the thought, you are the sky. The soul is not in a hurry. It has rhythm. By respecting this rhythm, you rediscover your spiritual truth. We have reached the point where the structure dissolves to make room for life. What if the paralysis you feel today is actually an invitation from your soul to stop trying to understand and start simply being? Reason is a beautiful frame, but it is not the painting. Do not become a prisoner of intellectual perfection. Symbolic practice. I invite you in this moment to place your hand over your heart. Breathe deeply. Imagine that with every exhale, you let go of the need to be right, the need to control the future, and the burden of having to explain everything. Feel the fertile void that remains when thoughts quiet down. This silence is not absence. It is presence without noise. What if the pain that confuses you today is actually the language of your soul trying to guide you beyond logic? If these words touched something inside you, perhaps it is time to take one more step on this path of reconnecting with your inner truth. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications to continue receiving content that nourishes the soul with presence and authenticity. Share in the comments what resonated with your heart. Your story might be the mirror someone else needed to find. If you seek a safe haven, know that our community is the sanctuary where fertile silence is shared and deepened. Enjoy the posts on the channel. And to keep expanding this field of presence, we suggest the video pinned in the card. May it be a source of inspiration on your journey. Peace and light.